Watto is just built different.
I would call that one essential and one of the best.
2 thumbs up from me. And they go back to Vader and they're like, we definitely killed her. Job well done. And Vader's like, where's the body?
Great. What's up, everyone, and welcome to Last Week in Star Wars. I'm Alex.
I'm Molly.
And we're just going to jump straight into Last Week in News because Matt Smith is joining Star Wars again.
Again? Question mark?
It was fun looking back over through all of the rumors from, I remember that from episode 9, that Matt Smith is going to be in it, and then that never happened. And he did finally clear it up on Josh Horowitz's podcast, as much as he could, that there were talks about him being in episode 9, but he couldn't go into details about who or what the role would be or anything like that.
Yeah, it was rumored that he was going to play a young Palpatine.
I think that's what a lot of people were guessing. And then Josh specifically asks, was it young Palpatine? And Matt just kind of looks around and goes, I couldn't possibly say.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would have made a great young Palpatine. I don't know if that's something that I really wanted to see back then, but after seeing him in House of the Dragon, I think any role as a villain, he could really knock out of the park.
Yeah, we are not Doctor Who people. We've seen like the first season and some of the Tenet episodes and just didn't get into it. Haven't seen any Matt Smith episodes, but what I've seen of him in House of the Dragon or Last Night in Soho, I do like his performances. And yeah, I don't know if Damon he's definitely got some bad stuff to him, but I feel like, especially throughout season 2, he was becoming more of an anti-hero. But yeah, I really like him in that role.
But that's why I'm excited to see him play a villain for Star Wars, because I think he plays a villain very well as far as like making them multifaceted and giving them a little bit more depth, not quite so mustache twirly.
Right. I agree. And I'm really glad to see that he is actually going to have a chance to be in Star Wars this time. This is all coming from Deadline. It should still be classified as rumor. It's not an official announcement, but when it is out in a major trade like this, I'm like, okay, this is probably true.
That's really all the detail we got from the article. They did confirm that Mia Goth is still also going to be in it as a villain, so maybe we're dealing with 2 co-villains.
Yeah, I had this thought of them being kind of a team-up thing, but I wonder, because Starfighter seems to be a bridge to help us get into the new Jedi Order era, and there have been speculation that the plot is going to center around Ryan Gosling's character protecting a Force-sensitive person. And then we were saying like, oh, maybe they will get to Rey at the end, or Finn, or just the new Jedi Order. And I wonder if Matt Smith could be a villain that goes on, or Mia Goth. It could go either way, but like, I wonder if one of them will be the primary villain for Starfighter who gets defeated, but they could build up someone else and this new faction for the era.
It's going to be the Knights of Ren.
I mean, I am very curious. All we know about what we've heard from the new Jedi Order is that there's some faction that is trying to stop the Jedi from forming again. And yeah, it could be anything. I think the Knights of Ren are probably gone. I think they've been dealt with.
I just say that because they're always in the mix. They're kind of a thing that can always come back because it's always changing.
It does seem to be that way. Like, we keep learning more and more about them. We don't know when they were formed, but they've been around for a while. Lots of different members. They do seem like cockroaches that you just can't stamp out fully.
They're about to be in the Vader comics, right?
The Legacy of Vader comics, yeah. We know they were at least around by the time of Crimson Reign and the Galactic Civil War, and they were said to be a fairly old faction by that point that had a lot more power. So who knows? Maybe it is Knights of Ren. I think I read somewhere that Matt Smith is going to be a general of some kind and not Force sensitive, but at this point, no one knows anything.
Purely speculating at this point. I think Matt Smith and Mia Goth together is like a dynamite duo to have in Star Wars, because they're both great actors, and I feel like they'll both bring a very like different take to Star Wars,
I
whatever
agree.
it is.
And we talked about Matt Smith being in House of the Dragon. It's another, Game of Thrones tie-in. A lot of actors have crossover between Game of Thrones and Star Wars, and I feel like they always are a good fit.
Yeah. Do you think one of them will be an alien? Probably not if he's like military, but I just think of Mia Goth and I'm like, she could be a cool looking alien. That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, both of them could be, and just because he might be in the military, it could be an alien military that's like, these Jedi keep messing things up. We don't know. It could be a First Order remnant of some kind. I kind of hope it's not. Like, I would hope that it's, let's move on from the Empire clones. Let's move on from the Palpatine clones.
Yeah.
Like, it is hard to not immediately think like, wait, is he going to play young Palpatine? No, I don't think so, and I hope not.
Or we could bring some new Chiss characters in. That could be fun.
I think, yeah, he's got the cheekbones for it.
Oh, yeah.
Not that, like...
And Mia Goth does, too.
Yeah. I mean, that would be cool if we just went all in on the Chiss ascendancy. That'd be interesting. They are all about, like, their own little insular community, and it would be interesting if they thought the Jedi of this galaxy are a power that we don't fully understand, and maybe we need to deal with them.
They hear and see like everything that happens in Rise of Skywalker, and they're like, now's our chance to pounce.
And yeah, maybe like, oh, they beat Thrawn. He was one of our best.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There could be something there. I think that would be interesting for sure. Starfighter is coming out in 2027, so still a ways off. And also, we heard in 2027 that A New Hope is going to come back to theaters. They already announced that.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I was kind of like, this is very early to be announcing it, but it makes sense that they would want to go ahead and let people know that they're going to do it. But a lot of people were already preemptively mad that they didn't say which version that they were going to put out in theaters.
You never know. They did show the theatrical cut at that
film festival. It was like the British Film Festival.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they were testing the waters, which I mean, obviously everyone would be thrilled for that.
Oh, yeah.
For the 50th anniversary, I think it would be great.
I think it's likely, and that's just me being hopeful, I think. But you're right. 50th anniversary, Lucas Museum opening celebration. It's a big anniversary. Maybe George Lucas at this point is getting a little easier of being convinced that maybe the other versions can go back out.
I mean, I think that would be a huge way to make a whole lot of money. I mean, I would go see it assuming right now I just assume it's the most recent edition that's on Disney Plus and the 4Ks and everything. That's probably what it'll be. But if they put out the theatrical editions remastered in 4K and everything, I think a lot of people would flock to the theaters for that.
I do too. And I think obviously their main goal is to make a bunch of money. And a lot of people are going to say like, every once in a while Star Wars comes back into theaters and I always try to go see it. What's making this one so different, and why should I go for this time?
Right. It's already a celebration of 50 years. Like, I think that's enough for it to do well. But if it's the original cut, people would go.
Especially if they're like, this is a one-time thing and we're never going to show it again. And then a couple of years later, they put out the new box set.
Uh-huh. So yeah, not trying to get my hopes up or anything. I'm going to assume it's just the more recent versions, but you never know. It would be cool. And I agree. I think they're just announcing it this early to be like, we're locking in these dates.
Yeah.
Everyone else, like, make way.
Right.
Clear out for Star Wars.
Yeah, which I think is smart.
Yeah. But moving into last week in canon, first up, we got the release of Sanctuary, the Bad Batch novel.
Yay.
I wasn't going to dive into any spoiler talk about that because you haven't read it. It just came out. I'll just say that I liked it. I have already put a review out about it. I had an interview with Lamar Giles, the author, come out last week. And then this coming week, we're doing a full spoiler talk about the book. And it was a lot of fun talking to him. Lamar was great.
Yeah, he really seems like a big Bad Batch fan.
Yeah,
so
he was very enthusiastic. Had some fun stories to share about the development of the book and stuff that didn't make the cut that he wanted to put in. But I really enjoyed talking with him.
And it sounds like for fans of tech, and especially tech and Fee,
Yes.
you'll really like the book.
Yes, he did say that was a priority for him. There's also, I teased in my review, there is like a canon definitive answer to a question I've seen a lot of people ask over the years that I was like delighted to see in this book.
Nice.
It's another one of those
That's a
like,
good tease.
finally, like I can answer this question.
Yeah.
But in comics, Legacy of Vader issue 7 came out, and we both did read it. This is continuing the story of Kylo hunting down a survivor of Order 66. I really liked this one. This was a good little arc.
Yeah. No Vinay.
No Vinay this time, your little creep that you love.
We got to take a point off for little to no Vinay. But yeah, I really liked this issue. I read it before you did, actually, and I was like, I think you might like it, like more than you have been liking the other ones.
This arc I liked. The Naboo arc I was not sure of, but once he was going after this Jedi survivor, I was like, I'm all in. This one was very trippy. It was mostly focused on Grandia, a Thelan survivor of Order 66, who is basically just really good at mind tricks.
Yeah.
Which it was fun seeing her get away from the clones. You pointed that out to me too, like how much you liked that.
Well, it's cool to know that like a Jedi can she decides to just concentrate on like one thing, and that one thing is being able to mind trick people, and so gets really, really good at it.
She tells the clones, like, the Jedi is one of you, and so they all start fighting each other while she slips away. And then there's a really cool sequence where the Inquisitors are hunting her down, and they do cut her leg off, but she keeps on mind tricking, like, just keeps hammering them with, you killed me. You've killed me. And they're, like, fighting back against it, but eventually you're like, yeah, I think she's dead.
Yeah, and they go back to Vader, and they're like, we definitely killed her. Job well done. And Vader's like, where's the body?
Yeah, they're like, it burned up or something. Grandia rolled a natural 20 on her mind trick, and the Inquisitors failed their saves, and they were like, 100% got her. We're awesome.
Yeah, it was cool, too, to see flashbacks of her, like, kind of exercising that mind trick muscle over the years, and it says, like, she was able to successfully mind trick Hutts and Toydarians, which are like notoriously good at not being mind tricked. And at first I thought it was Watto because like they were in a junk shop, but it looks like maybe a female Toydarian. But I was so excited by that.
I love what you made. You made a joke and posted on Instagram of, it said Toydarians can be mind tricked. Maybe Qui-Gon just isn't that good at it.
Yeah, maybe Qui-Gon just kind of sucks at it.
Which made me laugh because I've made jokes before about how he is seemingly the only person to die after being stabbed with a lightsaber. We keep getting a lot of people just stabbed and they brush it off, but not Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, you know, he was good at a lot of things, but maybe very specific Jedi things.
And he's not good at getting stabbed.
But I've noticed since I posted that, of course, people are finding ways to be mad at it.
Oh, sure. I mean, I knew that would happen because they just don't want to have fun.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that. It was like, obviously this is just a joke and a jab at Qui-Gon that I wanted to do, but
I don't know, some people can't handle that stuff where I'm like, Qui-Gon's one of my favorite Jedi.
Right.
It's still funny.
Well, it's like when people deal in absolutes, they think, oh, Toydarians can't be mind tricked, so did they just retcon that? No, they're just hard to mind trick. They're resistant to it, and she trained for years to get really good at it.
Oh, is that what people were mad at?
I
just
think
that a Toydarian at all got mind tricked?
I think so. Yeah. What kind of Mary Sue does that?
I mean, they basically went into this in the Clone Wars, showing it's not about having a resistance. It's being strong-willed or weak-willed, strong-minded, weak-minded, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like Cad Bane is a strong-minded person, but we saw that he could be mind-tricked. And it took Anakin and Obi-Wan and Mace to all do it together.
Yeah.
But it can be done. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same thing. Toydarians don't have some immunity to the Force in this one way.
Yeah. Or maybe some people suggested that Watto is just built different.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was probably especially strong-willed.
Maybe Qui-Gon is good at mind tricks, and he was like, what the heck? Dang.
I thought I had this guy.
Or maybe, yeah, like, over time, Anakin was like subconsciously mind tricking Watto, and Watto like built up a tolerance or immunity to it. There's a million different ways to look at it.
Yeah,
but I just thought it was fun.
It's just to say, I shake my head whenever, a character says something in Star Wars. I'm a Toydarian, mind tricks don't work on me. It's like, okay, well, we're writing that down in Wikipedia, and it's set in stone. Toydarians can never be mind tricked. Like, come on. But moving into last week in questions, Joshua David Earhart asks what kind of enemies we would like to see in the new Jedi Order era. So kind of going back to the whole Matt Smith talk.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do think it would be cool to bring the Chiss into the mix, but what I would like to see happen, maybe there's whatever the new threat is, it's like a group of people who want to kind of like take the idea of the Jedi and change it for themselves. Maybe they're like really fundamentalist about it, and they don't want Rey to just pick back up where she started and like go in that direction with it. So I don't know. I think something like that's not a huge like global threat, but more a threat to the idea of the Jedi.
More existential. That's interesting. Yeah, I just want it to be different from Empire. Like, we've done that enough.
Yeah.
People have thrown out the idea of like the path of the open hand or something similar, of just more a small group that think the Jedi shouldn't exist, period. Mm-hmm. I could see also the government, whatever is rising up in place of the New Republic or the New Republic, if they're saying the Jedi shouldn't exist because they keep causing problems, kind of the way Luke said, it's time for the Jedi to go. Mm-hmm. That was something that kind of happened in Legends as well. That's probably why it's on the top of my mind. The Chiss, I do think is interesting. It would be cool to see all of their technology and weapons and stuff. But from what we know of them so far, they tend to be more like, hey, as long as you don't bug us in the Ascendancy, we have no beef.
But what if one of Palpatine's like Final Order ships got into their business?
Maybe. Not our business. Yeah, Exegol was like right there.
Yeah, and so I'm like, yeah, maybe their business was disturbed and they want to talk about it.
Yeah. And, we don't know much about the Ascendancy ever since Thrawn left, so they may have changed their philosophies over the years, especially if their business keeps getting interrupted.
Yeah. And like I said, it's kind of the prime time for any other like organizations like the Chiss Ascendancy to come in and say, I've got an idea. If you're going to start over from scratch again, and the last couple of times it didn't work out great for y'all, let's try this.
Yeah. But I think I'm hoping for something a little smaller scale. I'm wondering if, the New Republic might not even care about the Jedi right now. They still might be fairly small. And they're like, okay, the Jedi are off doing their own thing. They're recovering. That's fine. And then some other small group could be a realistic threat to the Jedi, a similar sized group that's not the Sith, not the Empire. I don't think I have a good answer other than I want it to be new.
Would they bring the Mandalorians back into the mix?
I think they could. I mean, I don't think they would be the enemies of the Jedi. I feel like that would undo a whole lot of their cultural progression.
True, yeah. Star Wars is always looking to reuse things and pieces and ideas. So
yeah. So we've already had a Mandalorian Jedi war. I don't see the Mandalorians going back to that at this point, but you never know. Simeon Bjork asks if they can just read the young adult High Republic books to understand the story. I personally would probably say no.
Just the YA books, I don't think so. I mean, if you added the main adult books, which is just, 3 in each phase?
3, 2, and 3.
3, 2, and 3. Yeah, I think those are pretty essential.
I do think that if you want the basic story, like Into the Light, I enjoyed a lot, but it was more focused on the Dringir than it was the Nile. The Nile are in it, but I feel like you miss quite a bit of setup. I feel like Light of the Jedi is essential. Mm-hmm. I feel like Rising Storm, I kind of feel like, at least in phase 1, the adult novels are essential. In phase 2...
Phase 2, you could skip the adult.
In
ones,
phase
yeah.
2, I lean more towards the young adult novels being the essential ones.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like, with the story with Marta, Ro, and Yana and the Path of the Open Hand, that felt more like what connected to phases 1 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the adult novels there were way more connected to like Irem and Darano. Going into phase 3, I definitely think Tears of the Nameless, a young adult book, I would call that one essential and one of the best.
2 thumbs up from me.
One of the best of the whole series. So there are tons of great YA books in the High Republic, but if you want like the main story, I think you need to sprinkle them in along with the adult novels.
Yeah. And then where do we see Aslan kind of come back into the story? Because I would add anything that Aslan is in to the mix just because of where he ends up in the last book.
Right. And yeah, I do feel like Trials of the Jedi is another, you got to read that one.
Oh yeah. That one's going to wrap up everyone else's stories for the most part.
Tears of the Nameless, I think, would be Aslan's major story. He's also pretty significant in Into the Light. And then he's in some of the comics and the manga. But yeah, I mean, Aslan is one of my favorite characters to come out of the High Republic. Dennis Gill asks what the Empire's relationship with the Zygerian slavers was like. I had to look this up because they don't have a ton of appearances in the Reign of the Empire era, but they are around, and I think that they probably did help the Empire. I think the Empire worked with them.
So was the Empire just like interested in them because they did take slaves, or like was there like a specific reason why the Empire wanted a close relationship with the Zygerians?
Again, I'm like kind of guessing here because there's nothing that explicitly says that I could find the Empire used the Zygerian slaving empire, but it does sound like I think there was a random Rebels comic where the Zygerians popped up, and the Empire doesn't care. I bet they didn't publicly condone slavery, but I'm sure. I mean, we know that they used slaves, and so I'm sure that they would use the Zygerians and their connections.
Sure.
But there aren't a whole lot of stories about them set after the Clone Wars. Or I think the Bad Batch is probably the last big time we saw them pop up.
Yeah, we don't see them very often. They're the cat people, right?
Yeah, they're like cat, bat people.
Feline kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool species. I would love to see them pop back up somewhere. But no slaves. No. It's a big no.
Well, if you get Zygerians, you're probably going to get slaves.
No.
I guess there was the Padawan and the Acolyte. Yord's Padawan.
Oh, yeah.
But that's it for last week in Star Wars. Next week we'll be covering all the news that comes out and Jedi Knights issue 6. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Blue Sky.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.